Netflix, you don't need cable. I'm on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and globally, Vince vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited, bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back until you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix,
You don't need cable.
Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix,
You don't need cable. Hey everybody, come on in. Welcome back to the hood table one more again. I am waiting for my co-host. She was having technical difficulties, so she had to jump off the live, and then she's supposed to come back into the live. But anywho, Miss Carmel Diva, our co-host, will be back in any second, hopefully. I don't know what the StreamYard doing to her phone. But anywho, thanks for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. And if you would like to become a member of the Hood Table Squad and get those additional member perks, all you got to do is click the join button, which is right next to the subscribe bell. So anywho, let's get started with this Friday Night Live. Y'all know how it goes. Friday Night Live. No topics off limit, no holds barred. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. We can have up to 10 people on the screen. So if anybody wants to actually jump up on the screen with us, with my co-host and I, you can do that. And if you want to chime in on any of the topics that we're discussing, you can jump on the live and be on the screen with me. So, hey, Deborah, what's up? Deborah, one of the members. Hey, Can and Cynthia. I'm about to drop this link real quick just in case anybody else wants to jump on the stream because we got a couple of things we're going to discuss. And the first thing we're going to discuss is some hood news that happened today at a local Walmart, Wally World. Hold on. I ain't had nothing to drink all week. Whoo, Jesus. But anywho, let me go ahead and get this video up because I want y'all to see this video. Some of y'all who are on Facebook, some of y'all who are my Facebook friends or in the Hood Table group or follow the Hood Table Facebook page probably already seen this video, but I'm going to play this video for y'all because this is the first topic we're going to discuss. And then we're going to discuss Will and Jada and August and some other things. So let me go ahead and put that in here. You said, yes, my Walmart. That's my Walmart too. I swear, every time I go to that Walmart, it's something popping. Okay, let's see where the YouTube video is. All right, here we go. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see it. Full screen. Oh, I think I clicked it twice. Okay. I hope that's big enough for y'all to see. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I think that should be big enough. Okay. That should be big enough. Hopefully y'all can see that. All right, here we go. You said you can't stand that Walmart. Don't be talking about my Walmart. They be getting it in up there at that Walmart, man. Okay. If it ain't one thing, it's the other. Hey, Carmel Diva, welcome back. I'm about to play this video for everyone. Hey. Okay, here we go, y'all. Again, this happened today at Walmart.
Mr. J. What's going on? You ain't
She started it? What happened? What, she started cussing him out first?
She wanted him to get off of the scooter.
She wanted him to get off the scooter?
Yeah, she wanted him to get off the scooter.
But he riding it for a reason, right?
She wanted him to get off the scooter and stuff. He has a bad back. But her husband is on crutches, so she said, I slept. He said, I wish you would.
You saw the whole thing?
What happened?
The girl threw the pot at me. She came over here. The lady at the lady who gave me this car, I walked her to her car. And she didn't say nothing about giving this car to nobody. I got in this car. She walked up on me right on that silk over there. And told me, bitch, you know that car was for my man. I said, girl, who the fuck are you talking to? Bitch, you can walk. First off, I said it was standing in Nebraska. Honey, I don't have no hips. First off, hold on. First off, I don't have no hips. I don't have no hips. I can't walk. Why? I'm not doing the chicken pot today. I'm talking to her. Well, I'm talking to her. I'll bring it in. Okay, well, I'm talking. I'll bring it in. Okay, well, then I'll go to you. I don't have to go back and this is wrong. That is fine. And trust me, I will do a business report about the accident that's happened up here. What is your name? What is your name? What is your name?
My name does not matter right now. Okay. I do not work for Omaha Police Department.
Okay, what is your security guard? And so, what is your name? I'm asking you what's your name here.
You can contact Allied Universal.
No, that's not my name.
Right now.
He didn't start. No, I did not start. That one. No, he's talking about it because I'm talking now. And I told him that I would bring my level down. But I told you I would bring my level down. I'm sorry about that. Well, I'm not going to walk in that parking lot. That woman still out there in that parking lot. Because she come back. That don't mean nothing. I told you I would bring my level down. Because I got to do some shopping.
Okay, if he says.
I told you I would bring my level down.
Please let the man stay. He didn't start it. He didn't start it.
She asked him, she told him, but not her mask. The better you get out of the mask.
Or she was going to slap him.
I have the man.
I understand it, but I'll bring my level down. If you understand that, I'll bring my level down. I'm just a little upset.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Nobody wants to go to jail. I get the whole thing.
Well, I understand. I understand.
So until I figure stuff out, that's how it goes.
You got to understand when somebody's running by you, go from pot in your head.
That's what I can't figure out.
So, but I apologize for yelling and hollering and screaming, but I was just talking to the lady because I know her.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get her to understand that I'm disabled from Dean to the state of Nebraska. I can't walk. I can't go no farther than 2 blocks without having a basket or something up under me. So. But anyway, if you understand, I'll bring it down.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll make sure you know
Okay.
No more commotion.
Well, actually, just let me
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping me because I would have kept going with you.
No, I was going to stay here and have your back, but because I saw what was going on from the other side. Yeah.
I was trying to get around and I couldn't.
I saw her holding the skillet. I was like, oh my God. She got to hit a cripple with the skillet.
And I pushed her, she was going to slap her.
Oh, she pushed you first?
But the thing about it is,
I wish she would hit the hand.
yes, she hit me with the pants.
She pushed him.
Yes, I am going to follow the police report.
Okay, I'm going to have the unit route to speak with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. There it is.
Hey,
That's the one.
That's the one she.
That's the one she put in the back of my head. The one that she did this.
And she pushed him too.
Back of my head.
Sir, real quick.
Hey.
I just want to say, it's not my intention to ignore an assault that took place. I just have a lot going on with one person.
I understand.
So I appreciate your patience. Let me figure
Yeah,
out.
that's why we're going to be here for a minute.
I appreciate you letting me stay. I was mad. I had to
But
go
that's the
home.
one, that's the part that she threw at the back of my head. Like, first off, I told her,
How many people do I have that are saying that it hit me?
him and her,
And
she's got it on
I'm
camera.
going on record that she took that hand and hit him. Where did it hit you?
In the back of my head.
Yeah.
So first off,
Yeah.
this happened from Dean to the state of Nebraska.
Let him try.
And then, but the lady who asked, I literally followed this lady from the time she walked out of her cashier spot all the way to the front of the building, and
To the car. Watch.
she says that she talked to the lady about the car, and she was supposed to be giving it to her man. And I'm like, no, this is highly impossible because we followed them out to the car. What nobody standing there around that.
We were there from the time she was checking out.
Yeah. So
And
she comes off with this shit.
they only have one card available for.
There's one down there, but the one that's down there is dead,
Oh,
and then there's
my
another one
goodness.
out. They only got.
See, they should have more than one available.
First
So
off,
stuff like this, I mean, it shouldn't even got to that level, but still.
but you don't walk up on somebody and say, you faggot or you whatever, bitch, you don't need that card. Look at you, I see you walking good, but you ain't seen me limping. Like I have a deep ass limp. I have a bad back. I'm on medication for. I have no hips. They removed all the bones in my hips. I'm not even supposed to be walking, but I'm walking through the grace of God. Just because I'm walking don't mean that I don't have problems breathing. I have bronchitic asthma, my asthma under my bag. Girl, you look at it, it's been an asthma check on. You look at it, call my damn family. How about that? That would have been not right.
Well, the police is on their way to take your report, and I'm Tanya from the Hood Table.
Okay, yeah.
So if you said you seen it before, you might have saw it from the Hood Table.
Okay.
Because I do like local news and.
Okay, will you give my number or something? Or?
Yes, please.
Yes,
because I would love to have you on our show.
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Okay. Now that y'all saw the video, what went down at the Walmart, we gonna call that man right now. Hold on.
Shameless plug at the end, but a good one. But wow, that was a lot.
This is Tanya from the Hood.
Shameless plug.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You doing okay since earlier at the store today?
I'm doing fine. My back hurts me a little bit, but nothing God won't take care of. I put it in God's hands at this point in time.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. I played the video for the people on my YouTube channel, and a lot of people feel it was big, it went way too far, and it wasn't it was just too much over a cart, just too much. So why don't you explain to us, my YouTubers, explain to us what happened from the very beginning when you got to the store.
Okay, well, of course,
hi, before you start, I'm Karma Diva, the co-host.
That does not matter to me going to the store. But as we approached Walmart, I noticed that they didn't. I'll just say, well, by the way, you guys, but I can walk, what I'm saying? But I can't walk too far. I can't walk the whole time I'm in Walmart because Walmart's just too big for me to walk from point A to point B. So I got to have either a shopping cart or a mobility cart, and that's what they're there for, people with mobility issues. Mm-hmm. So as I got to the store, my friend, my good neighbor, we went down to the car and the other end of the store to keep the cart. And there was nothing down there, so I let her go. He had to go do, and I stood against the wall and watched other people get this cart that was dead, and they get it from the wall and getting in this cart and it's stopping on it. So I wasn't minding that, and I knew if I stood there long enough, I would see come over the cart. And just as I said that, somebody did come over. Now check this out. I did see the guy walk in front of me on crutches. I just think he was talking about. So I asked him, not so long after I seen him walk, but I seen him and his girlfriend walking out the door at the beginning, to the front of the store. And I did not see them talk to this lady, not one time. Mm-hmm. So I asked the lady when she got to the end of the register, when she's checking out, I said, ma'am, I said, are you, how far are you with the card? How far are you going to go to the card for me? She said, yes, once I get out of the car, you can have the card. But I'm going to take it outside because my kids are going to, pull up and I'm going to put my groceries in the car and you can have the car. So me and my friends took off and we put this lady outside the door. Now, I don't know where these people were that said that they talked to her about the card. I don't know where they were standing at. I don't know where they were hiding at. I don't even know if they was in the store anymore. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I really wasn't concerned because this business is not mine. So we walked the lady to the door, the beginning of the store, out. So we in her car, and she said, thank you, y'all have a good day. And I said, man, you have a card. We came to the store the wrong way. This is how I know what nobody said at the front door. They wasn't at the front door. They wasn't at the front door. They didn't ask for no cards. So as we go to the store, we go back on the pot house. And girlfriend was having a good conversation, and all of a sudden, some little lady walks up to me and says, nigga, you know you ain't supposed to be in that cart. I said, girl, what? I thought I knew the girl. So she looked for me because I know a lot of females, and a lot of females know me through my sister or my nieces or whatever, and they've been in my house, and I don't know who the hell I know because I've had time about my house. And anyway, so I'm talking to this girl, and she says, no, nigga, no, you know you ain't supposed to be in that car. I just watched you walk and get that card. So why the fuck is you in that car? And that card, we asked the lady for the card, and it was supposed to be going to my man, because my man's on crutches. I said, girl, first off, I don't know you, and I don't know your man, and why the fuck is you up in my face? I was screaming, telling me what the fuck you think you know about me, because you don't know nothing about me. I said, girl, I'm deemed disabled for you to stand in Nebraska, so I don't know why the fuck you talking about. I'm not disabled. Excuse my language, if it's too much for y'all, close your ears.
Oh no,
sorry,
you're fine.
But anyhow,
you fine.
Okay, so anyhow, she goes, well, nigga, I just watched you walk. I said, first off, I'm not no nigga. I am who I am. And she goes, that's the fuck out. She goes, girl, you know what? When you put your hands on me, I'm going to tell you right now. I stood up off my car and I said, girl, you put your hands on me. I'm going to dog walk your ass. So, the nigga walk me on the goddamn walker or cane or whatever the fuck he's on. I'll dog walk his ass too. Now that doesn't sound to some people, that doesn't sound like somebody that's disabled who can't function. When you hear disabled, you think disabled. Well, honey, God is the power and the strength to do all things through Jesus Christ.
All things through Christ.
Now, okay.
It gave me the power to defend myself.
Right.
I'll protect myself and I'll do what I gotta do. So I just basically, she started calling me all kinds of fags and punks and homosexuals and drag queens. And honey, I'm gonna tell you, honey, when Miss Niecy MIECEYBRAXKON gets a drag, honey, she's the key. Don't worry about all that. Because girl, you ain't nobody up in Omaha ever seen that part. So therefore, I told her that. And so she started calling me bitches and shit. I said, bitch, what?
Ooh.
Bitch again. They got up in my face, and I said, what you saying?
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes. I can't believe it. Ooh, child.
The audacity.
All those names over a cart?
Right. If he was that hurt or disabled, why did he not stay in the car?
Well, that's what somebody said in one of the comments. They was like, if your man had a crutches and he couldn't get a cart, why didn't he just stay in the car? But I just came in on like the middle of the situation. So I wasn't there from the very, very beginning when he first got the card or when the lady first approached him or nothing. Y'all saw where I came in on the video. But she was going, she had that skillet in her hand. And if y'all missed, y'all might not have heard. Did you see when the other worker at the store came up with the skillet?
Yeah, I saw that at the end.
Who broke this? Now you probably didn't hear it because you have to he wasn't talking real loud, but we was right there, so we heard. But if you put your ear to it and listen, you'll hear it. He said, "Who broke this skillet?" And I said, I just started chuckling when he said it because I'm like, she broke the skillet.
Wow.
Like he said, she hit him over the back. Again, I didn't see that. I came up on the middle part of it, so I didn't see. All I saw was her holding the skillet in her hand, and the security guard, because he made sure to let us know he was not the po-pos. But the security guard, he was like,
At the tone, please record your.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to call him back because his phone dropped. But the guy who worked there, he said, "Who broke this skillet?" And we was like, well, we guess she broke it. I mean, she the one who had the skillet. So, girl, what you think about this whole situation, Karma Diva? And if anybody else is up on the
Hey,
screen.
Maurice.
Hey, Maurice. How you doing?
Hey, chat. How y'all doing this evening? That is just, first of all, the name calling was unnecessary. Period. Especially for somebody you don't know. And second of all, to get that upset over a cart, like I said, if your man is hurt that bad, then he probably should stay in the car. Mm-hmm. If there were no carts available for him, then he should probably stay in the car. But to assault somebody in the store over a cart that you don't own, that's ridiculous.
Well, really got me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you was. Go ahead.
And then, wait a minute. I'm tripping off the police officer. If you're not police, why are you wearing a shirt representing the police?
Girl, he has the police on his shirt. That's what I didn't understand.
I saw that and I was like, he's saying he ain't police, but your shirt clearly say that in big ass letters on your back. That you are police. So
I'm sorry. The phone I don't know what happened. Let me plug you back up to the speaker. Hold on.
But yeah, this was just a mess.
Okay, you there?
I do.
I'm here.
Okay, I don't know.
And I do hope charges are posted. I do hope.
My co-host said that she hoped charges will be pressed. But one thing I want to ask you, sir, because I was feeling some type of way about the security guard who kept reiterating that he wasn't a police, but he had police big as day on his shirt and a gun. Most security guards don't have a gun. They usually.
So in this instance, when he told me that's I looked at him. Here, I don't care where I'm. Anybody else used to never let him hear him. Just because
you kind of going. I'm sorry. You kind of going in and out. Are you on speakerphone? Are you on speakerphone? Oh, if you're on speakerphone, could you take it off of speakerphone because it's kind of.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
In and out. You there?
Deborah, you're right. Tempers are flaring over the smallest things.
Yeah.
And right now, I've been saying this for a while, people need to learn how to control their emotions.
She said airport police.
I think people are emotionally stunted. They don't know how to.
Are you there?
This guy approves himself as a police officer, and he don't fear me because I've been to the penitentiary. I've been in jail all my young life. I'm put it that way because I haven't been in jail in the last 25 years. So, I corrected myself after the last time I went to the penitentiary, and I know what to do and how to conduct myself in public. First off, but why he presented himself telling me you need to leave the store. First off, that's not how you ask nobody to leave the store. You don't tell nobody that they need to leave the store. He should have said, "Excuse me, sir, can you calm down, take a breath, and then leave the store, or come with me to the front of the store so we can discuss this matter." You just don't walk on nobody that's in a heat of rage and somebody just threw a pot at me. Now, if that was your mama or your brother or your sister, they threw a pot at them, nigga, you be in a rage too. So couldn't nobody talk to you either. Like I told him, ain't no color barrier here when it goes down in front of these white people. Ain't no niggas, ain't no white people, no black people. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you got two black people yapping at each other and calling each other bags and punks and hoes and bitches and whatever, can't nobody hear nothing, and ain't nobody going to hear nothing. And it's going to take a whole lot. If it hadn't been from you, Miss Tanya, or Tanya, if it hadn't been from you and the pastor telling me to put that pot down, I would have heard nothing.
Yeah.
It takes two. It takes two to calm somebody down. So if it hadn't been from you, said, please, sir, put the pot down. Please. So you don't know my name, but you said, please put the pot down. And I heard that. When I heard that cry, I said, I'm going to put this pot down, because if I hit this bitch with this pot, I'm going to jail.
Yep. But the thing about it that concerned me was how the officer, I thought the officer should have been like, could you tell me what's going on? Could you tell me what's happening? Could you explain why she hit you? He immediately was like, get out the store. And although you were like, well, that girl and her man still out there and she threatened me, he was like, go out the other door. He didn't even calm down until I approached and said he was not responsible for the starting of the fight. And then pastor, the guy who was the other black, he's a pastor. I know him. Me and his wife grew up together. So I told the cops, I said, he's a pastor. I know him. He wouldn't lie. He would not sit there and lie as a pastor and say the other person started the fight if he didn't see her start the fight. Then that's when the officer was like, oh, well, I'm the only one here. That was totally inappropriate. And you need to file a report against him too.
Yeah, but you know what? As I said, you see in the video, I asked him what his name is, and he told me never to mind.
Right.
Like I said, he told me in the video, and it shows in the video. When I asked him what his name was, he said, that does not matter. And I said, the fuck it don't?
Right. It does matter.
You work for Walmart and you work for the police department, but I couldn't get that out at the time because I was on another page. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I felt like Oprah Winfrey in the color purple when she got ready to beat that white man.
Well, we was pleading for you, and I don't even know you, but me and my pastor friend, he saw the whole thing. I just came in the middle, but we were pleading basically because I felt like no matter if the fight was your fault or her fault, my whole thing was, regardless who started it, you are in a wheelchair, you can't walk, and the lady threatened you, and she said, I'm be outside, come outside. So if you would have went outside, what if she would have been like on 10 still and wanted to fight you while you in a wheelchair? So, and he said, you can go out the other door. I thought that was totally inappropriate, and that's why y'all heard me saying, please don't put him out the store. I said, please don't put him out the store.
And I'm seeing exactly what you're saying and what you're getting at. And it did kind of take me away when he said that, but I didn't want to just sit there and dispute that with him.
I know.
He said it the third time, when he said, I don't care how you get out of the store, but get out of the store. You got to leave the premise. You got to get off the premises. And when I told him that I was not going outside because that woman was still outside, he said, I don't care. Go out the other door.
That was so wrong.
First off, I wasn't parked on that end of the block. I was parked on closer to where I was when I came in. That's where we were parked at. So why would I go out on the other end? Go all the way down the other end. So you start trying to start some shit. And see, that's what happens when we have a misunderstanding in instances like we have, because people don't see it the right way. They see it, well, as long as we got them off the property, they was out there in the parking lot acting a fool, and then that gives them terms to put their hands on somebody
and try to arrest you.
Regardless if it's able or not, regardless if she's on 10 or not, that gives them the dog, tie them down, and knock me out of my wheelchair and put me down on the ground, face down in the mud, and say, well, this man came out the store, and to meet her out in the parking lot, that's how they're going to see it, and that's how they will categorize it. If he came out the store and meet her out in the parking lot, there's no way around it. So this is why I'm glad that you were there. I'm glad the pastor was there, and I thank you guys for standing up for me and having my back. Because it's not that I didn't feel like nobody had my back. I know God has my back. And the God's here with us to speak up for me. But there were two people there that stood up for me, and I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
You are so welcome. Like I said, I wasn't there from the beginning. My pastor friend was. I came in on the middle part. But I again, and I want to reiterate, it don't matter if she was at fault, if you were at fault. The fact of the matter was, I thought the officer, aka security guard was acting inappropriate, and he should have been more concerned with. We talking about a man who is handicapped and in a wheelchair, and you told him several times that she hit you in the back of the head to kill it. He wasn't like, "Are you hurt? Are you sore? Do I need to call the ambulance? I mean, he was not concerned at all. He was just like, "Get out the store."
Okay, and do you not know that when after we separated, he came and found me and my next door neighbor on the cat aisle for where the dog feed is, and then he asked me over in the corner, back in the back of the store. He said, "Are you okay? Or do you need an ambulance?" He said, "I'm just kind of going to let you know that we do have police on day, and but what we need for you to do right now, we would like for you to come up to the front of the store so we can get your complaint or your side of the story and everything." And by the time we made it up to the front of the store, the pastor was in the office giving his side of the story and his people and his family. And we were standing outside the office because, I couldn't get up. I could have got out of the chair, but I wasn't trying to lose my chair because I wasn't done finished shopping. Right. But the officer said, "Well, go ahead and sit there in the chair and explain to me what happened." And I did. And basically, the pastor came out and he said, "No, I'm going to tell y'all exactly what happened." And he said, "This is exactly what happened." But like I told him, I don't remember picking up a pot and throwing it at her. I remember picking up a pot and probably dropping it on the floor. But I remember picking up a pot. But that bitch took a whole pot and hit me in the back. Right. So, but my thing is, what do you do with an officer that does stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? I know where you're trying to get at, Tanya. He needs to be reprimanded for that. And
he does.
See, now, I'm sorry.
Oh, my co-host want to say something. Go ahead, Carmel Diva.
Go ahead.
So, what I was going to say is the only reason he sought you out in the store is because he know he fucked up. Because he should have offered you, like she said, medical in the first place.
Attention.
One of the first things he should have done was offered you medical assistance. Secondly, he did not handle that situation appropriately because he should have A, separated you guys, and then B, taken the report right then and there on the spot. And then called the police in to further handle the matter. Exactly. And the pastor, bless his heart, he probably stepped up and went and seen that, wasn't any steps being taken and probably made sure that a report was made. But like Tanya said, it's a good thing she has him on camera because even though he didn't give you his name, Walmart got his name. Walmart knows his name. And if he wrote up a report, get a copy of it. And his name will be on there, and that way you can go ahead and press charges or whatever you want to do to take it a step further, that he's reprimanded or, he is trained better, whatever they want to call it. But
he ain't even a cop. He ain't even a cop.
It was just ridiculous.
He's a security guard.
It had to even go to this level.
Imagine if he was a cop. And
I can't hear you.
As a security guard,
I gotta go out.
Okay, Carmel Diva. As a security guard, he's acting like that. So imagine if he was a cop on the street.
So basically, when I see incidents, I ain't never had nothing like this happen to me either. It's never happened to me like this, never. But in the matter of it happening, and when I see the cop come around the corner, the first thing I seen is said to myself, "Oh my God, here comes somebody pretending to be a cop," because I knew he wasn't a cop. Because if he had been a cop, he would not be in secret hiding places throughout the store. He would be well known that he was in the store. So first off, I didn't know that he was even in the store. Second off, anytime you give anybody nowadays with this coronavirus that's going on a position to play cop, they're going to act like they're the sheriff. Okay? So basically, he took that badge and put it on his body to say, I'm a cop and I'm going to do what I have to do as a cop, and I'm going to be just like a cop. Well, first off, you did exactly that as a cop because you didn't do it. You didn't handle the situation as a cop. You handled it as one of these cops on the street, like if somebody had a gun or somebody was fight, literally putting hands, like literally brawling each other out up in the store. So. And I say to myself, like, he don't scare me. He's not going to scare me because they react to your fear. That's what they want you to do. They want you to act and get all crazy with them. I'm not going to get crazy with you. First off, I'm not going to listen to you because you're not going to tell me to just get up off the car. And I just told you I can't walk. So you're going to tell me to just leave the store? So that means you're going to take your step and you're going to follow me out the store throughout the whole goddamn Walmart until I get outside. And you're going to turn around and come back inside the store and stand there and watch this woman attack me outside the store.
No, and then the thing about it is, I know for a fact if we weren't there, he would have made you leave the store. Even if you promised like 3 or 4 times to tone it down and calm down because you was on 10. I would have been on 10 too. You were arguing. I mean, who ain't on 10 when they arguing?
Right.
But if we weren't there, he would have made you leave the store. And if he would have made you leave the store, the proper thing to do in his position was to walk you to your car. That was a proper thing, but I know he wouldn't have done that.
Especially since you had already been assaulted by this woman. So yeah, the proper thing would have been to escort you to your vehicle.
And you know, like I said, when I told him, I said, how dare you ask me to leave the store, and I just got assaulted by this woman. And that's when I got ready to walk off, push off in the car. And I told him, how dare you ask me to leave the store, and I just got assaulted by this woman. And that's when I got ready to ask him his name and stuff. Then he was telling me my name don't matter. Yes, it does too. Your name does matter. Basically, it does matter. Then again, it does because I know Walmart has it on film. Because as we were leaving from the front of the store talking to the police officers, I heard the manager that sits in that office. That sat in that office, the woman that came around the corner, she's been watching everything that goes in the store. She said, this started at 6:30, and the woman assaulted him first. She was telling the police officer, see right here, you can see the woman assault him first. So I heard everything that was said in that office, so I knew I wasn't in the wrong. But as far as how that officer was dealt with, they was getting in his ass by the time we got ready to leave up.
Yeah, because you could have fathered that on the police officer for not coming to your aid. I mean, security guard with a big police sign on his back.
Right.
But
hell, if that's the case, I can go walk around with a shirt on to say police on it. He's you know what? Get him wrote up for impersonating a police officer. That's what you press charges on him for. Impersonating a police officer.
Oh my
goodness.
God.
And you know, but the thing about it is, you know, there's so much going on. I try not to just fall into the statistics of black meeting or having to encounter with a cop because that's what they want us to do. They want us to act ignorant. They want us to fall for the fallout, and they start, you know, the way she's talking to the cop. When I walked away, when I was pushed away, on another video it shows her calling the cop, "You faggot cop."
Oh yeah.
She never said nothing about me being calling me a fag or a punk or whatever. She was talking to God. You a motherfucking faggot ass cop. You a punk ass cop. Okay, so girl, you probably with everybody up in Walmart because not only you throwing pots and pans at me, you got a problem with this cop.
Right.
For him to act like he acted, I saw that. What I'm trying to say is I saw that. I didn't react to his big surprise. Oh my God, there's a cop here. Oh, I'm going to get all nervous and start trying to lie my way about it. Girl, there's no way I'm going to lie about nothing because it's all on camera. And I know the moment I get to lying, it's going to catch up to me before or after or during. And I'm not here to try to get caught up in none of my lies. But, you know, basically, the thing about the cop is he did not do it in the right way. He did not respond to nothing in the right way.
Not at all.
That's on his part, and I'll leave that on him. That's on his conscience. Nothing will be on my conscience. But what do we do in the midst of cops acting like cops? What do we do?
You have to report him. I'm all about, hey, if you treat me dirty, I'm reporting you. But you know what's even sad, sir? What I thought was really sad, that all was, disturbing. But what I thought was really sad was how the lady was going off like that with her little girl right there. And the little girl was just sitting there staring. She was probably about 9 or 10 years old, it looked like. And she was like, come on, girl. And I mean, she was like, you fat, you fuck you. I mean,
And the sad part is that little girl was probably used to that.
Like her daughter heard her from wherever her daughter and her daddy was, at the front of the store, at the back of the store, what it was. But the little girl came around the corner and she started crying, so like, Mommy, stop! I mean, literally, this girl is crying for her. And I wanted to say, girl, you look at your daughter, girl. But when she got ready to hit me with that pot again, she picked up another pot. And that's when I grabbed the pot.
And that's when the police said, put it down.
One more time, I'm going to well on your ass, and I don't give a fuck who's in front of me. I don't give a damn, but
yeah.
Something told me, like I said, when I heard the pastor's voice and Tanya's voice, they told me to put the pot down. I had no choice but to put the pot down.
Well, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie. I done been in many fights, and I done had arguments as a grown person with children. But there are certain times where I'm like, okay, depending on the situation, taking it over 10 in front of your kids is not a good look. Like you arguing and you using the F bomb and calling people the F word. I mean, that's so disrespectful, and it teaches your kids that you can call people the F word. Like we come on now, that's something that we should have stopped doing back in the 90s. Like it's the 2000s, and regardless if you're gay or straight, those are names you shouldn't call people, and you shouldn't, your children shouldn't hear you call people that.
But you know what? It doesn't only just what happens today. Just to show everybody that it don't only happen in Walmart, that this goes on a daily basis. Because I have been at other places where the kids just outright call me a fag. Oh, Mom, look at that fag. Oh, Mom, is he gay? Oh, Mom, is that a girl?
And you know why they're saying it usually taught at home.
And it's like, and my sister would be with me, and she was like, Roger, don't respond to that because their parents are teaching them that. You get what I'm saying? And my attitude, I'm going to tell y'all my attitude on stuff like that, because I'm from the South. I'm from Dallas. I'm from Delton, Texas, honey. And when I hear stuff like that, people being disrespectful to an adult that they don't know and don't know nothing about, they just outright call you those names, my thing is to attack. My first thought is to attack. Matters if the mama is there, matters if the daddies are there. I'm going to attack to defend myself. And sometimes it does not need to be. Some things need to be said, some things don't need to be said. But when you got two people on 10, it's hard not to say those things. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not trying to speak up for her because she was wrong. She knew her daughter was there. She knew her husband was there. She simply she could have just said, sir, do you really need that walker? Do you need to be on the power chair? Do you really need to be in that chair? And I would have simply said, yes, I do.
This is one of the reasons why Keontae, my co-host, she posted earlier, was it today yesterday about the Black Lives Matter. Yesterday. We always harping about Black Lives Matter when it comes to police brutality, but in our own neighborhoods, do Black Lives matter? I mean, on a day-to-day basis, when you leave the house, when you on your way home, do Black lives really matter?
No, it don't, because I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing from my standpoint. My standpoint is I'm saying this. Now that this Black Lives Matter thing is about, this is the second time around we done heard Black Lives Matter, okay? So the cops are aware of this. The cops know that we are getting as a black. We may not be a black community. We may not be together on a lot of issues as a black community or black families or whatever. But when it's time to get together, they know if we get in a group, that our power, our voices, our love, our compassion for one another is stronger than theirs.
Yeah, it is.
They fear that. They fear that, and they know that we can overpower them by our creativeness, our minds, our ideas, our ways of life. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a new change by black people. They fear it. They have a fear of blacks overcoming the world or overcoming the United States because they don't want to see this. It's been white for so long, and what do we do about it? We need to stand together as a community, but we can't do that when we got people out here wanting to have impotence with somebody the same race. I love everybody. I'm a person. I'm gonna love everybody until you either piss me to the point off to where I gotta black out. And then it's just nothing.
Same here.
I'm sure that was with everybody, but when it comes to standing up as a community, as a family, a strong family, whatever we want to call ourselves out here, then that's what we need to do. Because what's going to happen is these white people, the Ku Klux Klan, these Donald Trumpers and Trumpies or Jump-Outs or whatever the hell, and these other people with this big money out here, they're going to pay their way. They're going to have other races people in with their colors behind these caps and gowns and stuff, killing us off and making it look like it's black people doing it.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. And I saw that in Walmart today as I was lashing out to this woman, and I'm talking and hollering and screaming. When I saw the cop come, I was like, I hope this don't turn into if somebody gets shot, somebody gets hurt. Because simply the cops could have just said, you go your way, I'll deal with you, but I'm going to deal with you, man, because you got the biggest mouth. But he didn't go to her. He didn't go at her like that. He came to me because I was talking to you and talking to other people around me who wanted to know the story or wanted to get the scoop on what was happening. You know, and me being a black male, me being a homosexual male, I'm a little loud. I'm a little umbunctious when I get pissed off. But I mean, who don't?
I mean, y'all is arguing, and that's why I said, you know, I do commentary on different subjects from the hood to the White House, and as a person who does commentary, again, it didn't matter if you were in the wrong or she was in the wrong. The whole situation could have been dealt better if the police would have. I know he's trained to react on situations like these, fights and disputes at a place that they are securing. I keep saying police because he had a police shirt on, but he keeps saying the security guard. But y'all know what I mean. He had to be trained in those situations, and I'm sure his training does not say if somebody say they are attacked, you kick them out the store, and you don't your name and no questions asked, and you don't check to see if they need medical attention. And so that's why I stepped in. It wasn't because it wasn't more of he needed help or she needed help or she was wrong or he was wrong. I saw the police not acting, the security guard, not acting as he should have been. And that's why I begged the police, the security guard, and somebody, you know, I had posted a video and somebody said, oh, I wouldn't have pleaded with him to stay in the store. I would have left the store and I would have just filed a complaint. And I was like, but the thing about it is you are handicapped and you are in a wheelchair. And basically for the handicapped people and people who are disabled, it's a little harder to get back and forth to places. So yeah, he could have left the store, he could have filed a complaint, but why not make sure the man can continue his shopping and then y'all settle the situation later? That's what should have happened.
And I seen when you came around the corner with your camera and you came in just on time to catch the police officers.
He was rude. He was rude.
Yeah, doing this supposed to be security job. I see the point that she's trying to make sure that he wasn't doing the parading and just doing justification for that because he wasn't. He didn't handle it the way he should have handled it. And it's basically like I was arguing with him. Basically, he wanted to argue with me. I guess he chose the loudest and the strongest voice, which was mine. But she was the most volatile voice in the situation.
Yeah, she was hot. She was hot.
She literally took off her and was walking toward the I'm not running from nothing. I don't fear nobody but Jesus, honey. That's the man I fear. But when he stepped in, you know, I thought you came in with your camera. I'm like, that woman's got a camera. I wonder if she's recording it. She records the right thing because, you know.
That's funny. Somebody actually was hoping I record. Like. It's so funny because that's what I'm known for catching scenes.
I promise you, she sleep with a police scanner by her head.
Some situations get recorded and they don't get recorded the right way, and they put out a different message of what's going on. I hope and I pray that the message that you recorded, that everybody sees it, because I ain't gonna lie to you, a lot of people stop my neighbor across the street over there already since we've been home. And so they're, hey girl, we see you on Facebook, on YouTube.
Well, if you watch, if you subscribe to our The Hood Table channel, we do commentary on different issues, and we try so hard to not be biased. We try so hard to not take sides. We just release the stories. And then, if people want to, say what happened and give us their experience of the topic, we let them speak. But, we're not here to be like, oh, send her to jail, send him to jail, send her.
Right.
Especially when it come to things in our neighborhood, in our own neighborhood, we just try to shine a light on things that happen, and people need to notice certain things that happen. And I think sometimes we just need to make better decisions, when things like this happen.
Period. Better decisions, period.
Yeah, this could have totally went another way. I'm just glad nobody else was seriously
and
hurt.
I'm glad nobody was seriously hurt either. I mean, my back hurts a little bit, just disposition of the way I was sitting, but she did hit me with that pot pretty good. But what I want to everybody that's listening and that as you do your report on this story to take away from this whole day or whole incident is to don't think just because you're white and you got cop written on your shirt that you cannot be succumbed to anything that happens to your ass. Your way just because you say the story don't mean that everything is right, and then what you're doing is right, because sometimes other people look at you and they will say it's wrong rather than black and white. And I had so many people in that store walk up to me and say, that cop was kind of asshole, wasn't he? Or he was kind of wrong for what he did, though, didn't he? So
yeah, because everybody saw it, and I'm sure people was taken back. And you saw me; I was standing right there in my camera. He was like, "Leave the store." I'm standing there like. I'm serious. I was standing at my camera like, I ain't going nowhere. I don't know where anybody else going, but I'm standing right here. But yeah, so I'm glad that you weren't. I know you in a little pain right now, but I hope things work out.
In shock. I was dumbfounded because I'm like, did this bitch just hit me with a fucking pot?
Right, in the middle of Walmart.
I'm like, girl, I literally turned around because, like I told you guys, I had a conscience. Something kept telling me. I had you guys in behind me. Well, this was before y'all told me to put the pot down. My sister always had told me that anytime you get into an argument with somebody, you got to call her a bitch and she got to call you a bitch. She said, get it out and then let it go. Call her a couple of bitches, let her call you a couple of fags or punks or whatever. But don't look at it like you got to react to that, just because you know what you are. And what you are bright in your world. You're good at what you do. You love what you do and who you are. So it shouldn't offend you. But when the girl started talking about, I'll slap you and I'll play and run up on me and call. Wait a minute, this one's gonna get y'all. Y'all didn't hear this part. She told me, she said, call me a bitch again. I told her, I said, BITCH, bitch.
It was crazy.
Oh my God!
I swear to God, it was so real at the moment. You had to have been there. I mean, we can giggle about it now a little bit, but when it happened, it was like, oh my God, this can't be happening. Like
it happened. Like I was like, oh my God. So I just said to myself, I'm just gonna leave this conversation alone. And I turned my little car around and I was going down the aisle, and girl, after a corner of my eye, I seen this bitch reach on the shelf and grab that pot and throw it. I said, oh hell no, bitch.
And see, that's why I brought the kid in, because again, my sons, I'm not even gonna act like I ain't never had my sons witness me go from 0 to 1,000, but the words that were used, picking up objects, a handicapped man in a wheelchair, and your child standing there watching, that was the wrong time. Everything, it shouldn't have happened. It just shouldn't have happened.
It should have been better decisions made on a lot of different parts. And I understand in the heat of a moment, nobody's thinking about, how this looks, how this is going to affect a child standing there. But, it's hard to articulate. We have to do better, especially by our kids, and
Yeah.
whether they are our blood kids or not. We have to do better because we have to set a better example for them.
Yeah.
So,
And
so that goes to say, looking at it from where I'm looking at it from, when the child stepped in the picture and she started crying for her mommy to stop yelling and screaming. If I had, now, and I don't know if y'all are going to agree with me on this, and I don't know if you're not going to agree with me on this, and then I understand if you do or you don't. But if I had took that pop and slapped her mama as hard as I was going to knock that hole upside her head with that pot, that little girl I would have been in her memory for a long time. And she would have never forgotten the day that her mama got hit upside the head in Walmart.
I expect you are correct, but but I'm so glad that you did not. I'm so glad that you did not.
This is another reason why I put that pot down when that little girl started crying, because I got nieces and nephews too, and I know that my sister, when she goes off on me or when she's cussing me out about issues in her in the privacy of wherever we're at or wherever, or when she's getting into it with somebody, and her daughter happens to hear it or whatever, or when her sister raises her voice about anything, her daughter always pleads her, "Mom, please stop crying, please stop yelling and screaming. It's hurting my ears, it's hurting my heart," and we stop or whatever. And I would think that she would have heard her daughter say, "Mom, stop." That's why.
Right.
Well, when you on 10, you on 10. I'm just saying, hey, when you on 10, when you go from 0, sometimes you don't hear. You just be on fire. You be lit. You don't hear nobody saying stop. I mean, I know those days. I know those experiences. I remember times where my mom used to try to break me up, and I'm like, I don't hear her. I'm cussing. I'm swinging at her. And when we didn't all have those moments, where you been
Right.
and you can't hear Jesus if he tapped you on your shoulder and say, "Child, be still." So I know, but I just it's a lesson to be learned in this whole experience. It's a lesson to be learned in this whole experience.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I told my neighbor, it's not like I'm walking in the store being all gay and sissified or punked out, or what do they call it, gaying out, or what do they call it nowadays, acting like a sissy or punk or whatever. I don't know, bagging out, I don't know what they call it nowadays. Hell, I'm 47 years old, I don't even get down like that no more. But I know what I am and I know what I'm true to. But it's not like I came in the store being disrespectful in my language, or disrespecting you guys, or disrespecting anybody in that store. Like, I was totally just out of the dark disrespected, and I'm like, first off, you're not going to do that to me. Don't come for me if I ain't sent for you.
Okay.
You're not going to tell me that I'm not disabled, and I know that I'm disabled. You sit here trying to argue with a disabled man, and the disabled man is telling you, girl, yes, I am disabled. You can't come up over here telling me that I'm not disabled and get up out this chair and walk. You ain't Jesus. Nor are you Moses. You gonna keep talking, you're gonna get some red seeds parted already. You're gonna get some red seeds parted in your brain.
Ooh, child. Ooh.
See, now they talk. Now the next person to tell you ain't disabled, I say, okay, and let me see your medical degree. Let me see your medical license.
And that's why I don't trip. When I was young,
because I too am medically disabled, and I've had people ask me that just because you don't see my disability, don't mean that I'm not disabled.
And I was
until you
say that.
Right, and until you sign my medical paperwork, until you are the one giving me a physical or listening to me crying because I'm in pain, you ain't shit you can tell me.
And that's what I was about to say. When I was younger, I was in, when you're younger, you say and do stupid stuff. So when I was younger, I would see people parking the handicap and they seem like they walking away just as well as I am. But, once I got older and realized there are ailments that you cannot see sometime on the outside. It took me getting older and more knowledgeable and a little wiser with time to realize there are people who might walk as well as you do, but they might have a heart problem. They might have, kidney disease. They might have, something wrong with their brain, anything. And if they parking in the handicap, and they got a handicap sticker, even they look like they can jog to the front of the stove. It doesn't bother me anymore. That was something, like I said, when I was younger. The thing is, once we get to a certain age, we have to start acting like our age. I have to start acting more mature. And I would have never called anybody the F word, and it's not because it's disrespectful, but I have friends who are gay. I have family members who are gay. I have family members who were scared to come out to us for years, and it's like I treat them the way I treat anybody else, because you my family and you my friend, and I don't give a doggone what you do in your bedroom. That's between you and God. So I raise my kids like that. You don't call people those names. You are not the judge. You are not the judge of people. So that's something, like I said, this whole situation is a lesson. This whole situation.
See, I like to tell people I can't condemn or condone what you do. And we all got our sins to atone for. Hell, how am I going to sit here and count your sins, and I got plenty of my own? Shit.
Right, exactly.
We all got to stand in front of the king one day.
I done sinned and fallen short. What's that Bible verse? All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, probably a million times, and woke up, God, please forgive me if I would never do this again.
Okay.
I swear to God.
I know I personally have said that. I know I've said that one.
I'm telling you, I said that prayer so many times.
On too many occasions.
I ain't perfect.
So,
every time, right?
Yep, pray and be like, "Oh Lord Jesus, please." But yeah.
But I do appreciate you ladies taking the concern.
No problem. It's no problem at all.
And my health and everything, and hopefully this matter don't happen again, because I'm the type of bitch, excuse my language, I ain't no bitch, but I'm the type of guy or person who likes to take action on a certain thing. I may not follow up on a lot of things, but things like this that happened today, I would definitely follow up on.
Oh, we get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, we get it, and that's the reason why I stayed there right next to you. And I was like, I have to talk to you later tonight. I'll be. My people gonna call your people. Yeah. Again, I'm so glad that you're not.
Yes.
Because
seriously injured from this.
And go ahead. My co-host got something to say.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I'm glad that Tanya was there. I'm glad that the pastor was there to help assist you. And it's time for us in the Black community to start being a family again, to start helping one another and caring for and about each other. Because when from the time we walk out our door, we all have a target on our back from everybody else in the world. So it's time for us to come back together, to start being a family, to start being that community that cares and takes care of one another like it used to be.
Yeah, and that goes for all. I mean,
yes.
I mean, I don't care if you gay, straight. I don't care. We need to come together in our community.
Right. Right.
We are in a community will lead us stronger. Will show people that we have force behind our power. And this power in our force, and that we can stand. We've already done show white people that we can make it through anything.
Yeah,
and
right.
Overcome anything, and we can achieve anything.
Yeah.
But what they don't want to see is us overcoming their power. And to be honest with you, the white man has to fight harder every day to keep us down. So while they're out saying that we as a black community are fighting every day to get on top. Yes, we're fighting every day to get on top, but we're not fighting every day and fighting at our night sweat to hold somebody down. Because it's hard to hold somebody down than to fight to hold somebody to bring somebody up. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, I get it.
Because the white man has always been in the up and been on top and been there and getting away with shit. So they don't want to see another race come from nothing or come from cotton to millions and billions and trillions and being on top.
Right.
Because white man has always had the upper hand on everything. And they don't want to see us as a black community have nothing.
Right.
Because the white race is dying off faster than the black race right about now.
Yeah.
And it don't seem like it, but it are.
It is.
I'm saying so, and in the same breath, we as a black community, we can't come together. And this is what I'm taking from God, and this is how I'm seeing God speak to me, because God is saying, as a black community, if you black people, or you and people as a community, people come together as a community, I have no choice but to step in.
Right.
As a God, I have no choice but to step in and open my gates and show y'all, hey, this is what you got to do.
Right.
But we so busy with looting and tearing other black people down and tearing our own selves down, so used to that, for doing that for so long. The white man taught us a bad habit, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've learned to pit us against each other and to make us divisive. They pit us against each other and make us divisive, and they've done a very good job about it, and we are still playing into that to this day.
Now that we as a black community want to turn things around and be there for each other and stand up for each other and have a communion with each other, you know what I'm saying? Because black people can't have a communion. They don't understand that why they want to get together now. We don't held them down and suppress them for so long, and we can suppress them for another year or two. Let's suppress them for another. No, it's time for y'all to get y'all knees off our neck.
Right. Yeah, it's time for them to get our knees off their neck, and at the same time, it's time for us to come together more often than when somebody is killed by a police officer. That's why I understand why Deborah, in the chat, one of our members to the Hood Table Squad, she was saying, Black Lives Matter. We can't use that for every different scenario, and I get that because I know why it was originally came across Black Lives Matter. But my thing is that we go out there and rally and tear up stuff and burn down stuff, when police do us wrong, but then every day we doing each other wrong. And so that's why I said we need to also matter to each other too. I mean,
and I was going to rebut that.
But this might not have been a Black Lives Matter issue in Wally World, but we do need to care for each other more. I think if we care for each other more and came together more often on a regular basis, we wouldn't have so much police brutality, because the police would see us already acting up and cutting up and, doing things for each other and not fighting against each other. And they'll already be like, oh, these niggers, we don't want to mess with them in their community, because we rallying together, on an everyday basis. So that's all I'm saying. And again, this video, I'm glad. I hate that it happened, but I'm glad I caught it on tape, because it's a lesson. There's so many lessons in this video, from how we treat each other to how we could, treat a situation different, to how the cop should have treated the situation different. And, to us onlookers, standing up for someone who wasn't being listened to by the security guard, cop, whatever you want to call them. So it's so many lessons in that story. Sometimes you have to stand up. And when that policeman or security guard was telling him to leave and he was acting really, really serious, I could have been like, oh, I'm turning around. I'm walking out of here. No, sometimes we have to, stand in the gap and be there for someone else, even if we don't know them. So that's all I'm saying. But you know what? You're gonna have to give us the update on this. And also, one of my subscribers who is a member to the Hood Table channel, she said that we need to have a conversation. So we might have to do another show, and I might have to invite you onto another show because she said she wants to have a conversation about being gay in the Black community. What is the root of why we take issues with it?
Okay, and then and just give me a call. And
I sure will.
Yeah, we'd love to.
The perfect person to discuss that question because she's like, we need to have a question like, why so many Black people take issues with gay Black people in our community? It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
I think a lot of, just to kind of touch on that. I think a lot of it has to do with how we were raised. A lot of us were raised in church, and we were all raised. Oh, being gay is a sin. Is you're going to hell, and God don't love this and that. But as we get older, you have to think in all of this universe, everything. If He knows how many hairs I got on my head
before you are born.
You mean to tell me He can't love this little gay person right here? He can't love this person? Are you serious? And so a lot of it, like I said, has to do with how we were raised. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, let's be honest, a lot of them pastors that were preaching this was in the closet themselves, or the deacons themselves was in the closet. Or meddling with little teenage girls back then. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil.
Child.
So, but
that's a topic for another day. Okay, we gonna end this interview right here.
Because I will go there. I will go there, Tanya. But
I do want the update on what happens if you manage.
Yes.
Something happen with the security guard or whatever. You got my phone number, so feel free to hit me up anytime, and I will be contacting you because we're gonna do a show probably within the next week or so about gay issues in the Black community, and I would love for you to be a guest on our show.
And please like, share, and subscribe.
And your co-host. I appreciate you guys giving me a call and a shout out.
No problem. You're welcome.
I will be there. I will be there with 10 bells on. How about that?
All right now.
And we're looking forward to that. Thank you for coming on and just saying your piece, letting us know exactly what happened and how you are doing. And we do look forward to hearing from you again. And like I said, we want you to subscribe and continue to support the channel as we continue to try to support you and our community.
Yes.
That's right. Well, I'll be talking to you soon, and you have a wonderful evening, okay?
Y'all have a wonderful evening too, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. God bless.
God bless you too.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, y'all heard it. Y'all heard the interview from the guy if y'all came in late, y'all gonna have to rewind all the way to the beginning to watch the video of what went down in Walmart today to lead us to interviewing that particular guy that we just talked to. But I think what Deborah said is a must-needed conversation that we need to have in our own community. I am looking forward to having that conversation, and I'm going to try to not bring on just him, but other gay, whether gay, trans, gay women, gay men. I'm going to have them, on the show so we can have this conversation because it is a much-needed conversation to have, in the Black community because I don't know. I understand, like you say, Carmel Diva, we grew up in churches that said this isn't right. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not do that. And this is like the worst sin in the Bible, they say.
Right.
But
versus murder and all kind of other stuff.
And raping people and abusing children. And I can name a lot of things that I have more problems with personally than somebody being gay or lesbian. So But yeah, so
402, I see you, and I'm not even gonna respond to
what
you
he
today.
say? Hold up, what he say? 402,
I'm not responding to him today.
402, when you coming by the crib again so you can jump on the screen with
Are
us?
you even back?
I mean, that one day he just popped up on us and was at
I thought he was playing.
he was like, I'm like, who is that at the door? He's
Right, I'm like, no, remember I was on the porch in the cold because he had passed the house up. I'm like, if he don't turn around and come on, shoot, it's cold. But he did. He popped up on us. He got us. He pulled our card that day.
Deborah said,
Well,
look,
Deborah,
you grow up in church.
well, you know what? I can't say that. I was in church a lot, but
Oh, Maurice.
I didn't say that he was. I said a lot of them were.
Oh, they did.
A lot of them were.
The church never touched on homosexuality when I was growing up. They didn't touch on it. They said, don't do it. You're going to
Period.
hell. That's all
Period.
they did. That's all they did. That's like when I was growing up in the house, don't be gay. Don't have babies out of wedlock. Don't commit fornication or you're going to hell. Like those three things, you're going to hell with gasoline draws on. All the other stuff that I did that wasn't right, things that got me in trouble growing up and got me into scared straight and all kind of other things. There was no preaching on that. But let mama find out I'm up there having sex.
Right.
Yeah, you going to hell with gasoline draws on.
But she said, lucky for her, she wasn't raised in the church. I can't say that because I did enjoy that, and I am appreciative of, being a child that was raised up in the church. And so,
the first church, but I didn't enjoy that second one. That second one, they had too many issues. People raping each other in the basement.
Oh God.
Pastor children raping each other in the basement.
Oh my. See, the things I was just speaking on, those were things that I had heard about. I can't say for certain those were things that were going on in my church. They probably were. But I didn't know any.
Who were raped in the basement by the pastor's children. So yeah, again, some people be lucky you weren't raised in church. Because my thing is, just because you weren't raised in church don't mean that you don't know God and that you don't have a relationship with God and that you don't read the Bible or pray or anything like that. Church to me is just a place where you can come to the fellowship with other like-minded people with you. Other people who want to, praise and worship God and fellowship and talk to each other and, testify, what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't think that I used to think when I was younger that if you didn't go to church, you go to hell. I mean, that's just how we was raised. Yeah. But as I got older, I'm like, okay, like the corona. I ain't been to church in like 4 months. My pastor know I be on Sunday watching them on Facebook. I ain't been to church since the corona started, since they shut down Omaha. Now my whole family has the Rona. So and they've been having church ever since the Rona started. A few people.
I told you about what's going on with my family and the medical issues, and so yeah, I'm good right here.
And I'm not saying that my pastor and his family caught the Rona from going to church. They could have caught it at Walmart. They could have caught it at work.
Right.
But I'm just saying, church is just a building. Like Melissa King said, church is just a building. God is everywhere. And that's why they used to say when we was growing up, you can find God in your closet. You can find God in your pantry. You can find God in your car, anywhere. So yeah,
honey, I have found him everywhere. Trust me, my kids will tell you if it's a shouting moment, honey, I don't care where I'm at, who there, I'm gonna shout. Girl, point blank. It is what it is. I'm a complicated. Look, on the one hand, I may start shouting. On the other hand, I may start cussing. I'm a complicated person. As Terrell said, he got a shirt that I want. He said, I love God. He said, I love Jesus, but I also like to cuss.
Yeah. Deborah said, if you are a believer, you are the church. And I want to give a special shout out and a special thanks to all the members in the chat.
Yes, thank y'all for commenting.
But
want,
still in here. Carla Prince, Deborah. Some of y'all done dipped out already. But
yeah.
Melissa King, Miss
Thank you for holding conversations on your own
yes, Carla Prince, Miss Sislo. Those are a few of our members. Harper Sean. If y'all want to become a member to the Hood Table Squad, all you have to do is click that join button next to the subscribe button. We are going to start doing member only lives. We're going to have member only Q&As with moi. You are going to be able to ask me questions about me. Don't be trying to get too deep either. Don't be trying to get too deep and find out who I've been.
I might have to come up in there
this year. Don't be trying to find out who my baby daddies is. Don't be trying, stuff like that. But
I might have to come up in there under a false identity and ask some questions.
You don't be there. But yeah,
don't ask me no questions. Y'all don't want to know nothing about me.
Some of our exclusive videos, we do a lot of exclusive interviews and exclusive videos. We're going to start having members be able to see those first, and then they eventually will roll out to the rest of y'all. Now keep in mind, I done said this many, many times. We appreciate everybody, every single one of you who are subscribed to our channel. Even if you don't pay to be a member of the channel, we still appreciate and love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I just want to let that be known. I really do want to let that be known. But since YouTube has allowed us to have a membership program and offer special perks to members, we have to give special perks to the members. So, it ain't like we trying to push y'all to join or nothing like that. If you feel like joining, if you would love to join the Hood Table Squad, then, there's 2 levels, $1.99 for the cheapest one. The other one is $4.99. They're easy. They're monthly. YouTube takes it out monthly from your whatever card you use. And that's how it goes. But
Maurice,
we appreciate it.
You've been serious, but I'm laughing at Maurice.
Where's Maurice? I'm gonna holler at you. Don't have me come down to Texas because you ain't joined the member squad. And you come down to San Antonio every 2 years. I already talked to my cousin and told her I'm gonna find me a way down there this year. Don't let me run up on you. Don't let me you at Papa Do's in San Antonio.
Children, it's time to go to bed.
Now
they're getting started.
For the wrong reason. I ain't messing
Maurice, I would never kick you out. I would never kick you out.
He know we love him. He know.
Now she might kick you out, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
It's that bald head. That bald head. That bald head. But anywho, y'all, I want to talk about one last thing before we wrap this up. And anybody again who wants to come on the live stream, I'm gonna drop the link again. So if anybody wants to come on the stream, I'm gonna have you guys jump on the screen with us and discuss our next topic and our final topic for the night. Yes, Deborah, Jada, and August.
She said, did anybody see the interview, her and Will?
Man.
Was it me or because Will was still pissed?
Yeah.
Clearly. And she was looking like she was hurt, especially when she said August cut off all communication with her. She was like, he just cut off all communication with me, and I ain't heard from him since. It was like she was feeling that still. And it's like, okay, but you still with Will. What y'all doing?
But see, you know what? When I posted this in our Facebook group, some people was like, hold up, Jada said they separated like 4 years ago. What y'all mean separated? Do y'all not remember when it was all in the blogs that Jada and Will was getting separated and divorced? Do y'all not remember that? Yep. This happened about 4 years ago. And they were going to it was all over the blogs that they were separated. They were getting divorced.
And then they came back and they were life partners. And it was like, they wasn't husband and wife anymore. They were life partners. I was like,
life partners.
What the hell does that mean?
Right. Like they had
That's some bullshit they done made up at home.
we're not happy together, but you know, I'm rich, you rich. If we separate, you know, and they were married young, so ain't no telling if they signed a
It's cheaper to keep her.
prenup or not. Ain't no telling if they signed a prenup or not. And they both rich. They both got coinage. So it's like Jada was like, okay, if we ain't
Right,
selling each other,
Deborah.
we still gonna stay in the same house. We still gonna. But my thing is, okay, August. Why are you clout chasing? Because some people say it's not clout chasing, but I call it clout chasing because
I think it is.
for a few years you have been adamant on making people believe that you had a relationship with Jada. Why? That's my
Well,
question.
he did, and he didn't lie. But the fact of the matter is, okay, you made public, you made it known. I'm sorry, I gotta plug my phone. It's about to die. But you made it known that you had this relationship with Jay. I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. But you don't announce any of your other relationships. Why not?
And that's why I said he was clout chasing. And somebody told me,
Why do you gotta sit there and announce everything that you know was going on with you and Jada?
right? And somebody told me in a group, they said, Tanya, why you call that clout chasing?
Hello?
I think you got to come in and come back out. Karma Diva, I'm gonna kick you out because you're going in and out. So I'm gonna kick you out and just come back in. Boo. Hey, Melissa.
You know, I had to jump on for this. I had to jump on for this subject, honey.
You know what? Am I wrong though, Melissa? Am I wrong when I said he was clout chasing? Because somebody was like, why he clout chasing? He already famous. He already this and that and that. And like Karma Diva just said before her phone started tripping, you ain't announced on public how many other women you done slept with. Why you got to announce Jada?
But you know what I thought was weird? I had heard this rumor over a year ago.
Yeah, because he said it a while back, but everybody
and Tasha K reported it.
Right, and people kind of like ignored it.
Right.
Like, and I believed it. I believed it ever since. I made videos. I believed it ever since. I said, yeah, they slept together.
See, I you know, with them, and then you know all the rumors was out. Well, they got an open marriage. I tell you what, Will went acting like it was no open marriage today because I'm like, Cameron, he was hot. He's still hot by that.
But do you think it's sincere? That's what I want to ask y'all. Do y'all think it's sincere? Because of the simple fact, August said he had Will's blessings. Now we all know that they've had an open relationship for years. They are swingers and they've been having an open relationship for years. So why all of a sudden Will is so upset?
Well, Will said he don't understand where August would get the idea that he gave him permission, and then Jada say something to the effect that I guess because you know he was okay with him being around.
Yeah.
But I'm like, y'all on some bull.
They on some bull. I'm telling you, man, it's not being 100% truthful. But I ain't mad at them. They trying to keep up, you know, to keep the face. They trying to keep the face. You don't want to seem like no punk because August is.
And that's what he looked like.
August is way younger than Jada and Will don't want to. He got to keep the face because this man is way younger than him.
Right.
Like my grandma used to call him strapping young man.
Right. Now is Will 50?
Will is 50 something.
Okay, because I know August is 27.
Strong looking young man.
Yeah.
He's 51.
Deborah said that August didn't want to be known as a homewrecker. So why come out now? And Jada.
And how did he come out? They said he wrote a song or something?
Well, he had mentioned it like I don't know exactly how long ago. It's been like a year or so. He had mentioned.
But what brought it back this time?
I don't know what specifically made. Maybe it was because
he had a video.
The fact that maybe because they was denying it. maybe that could have been the reason why he brought it back up.
Mm.
I don't know, or maybe he's still in love with Jada, but
He did an interview.
he left her like just up and left. So that's why I think it's they're not telling the whole story.
Yeah, I'm like Karma Diva. It seemed like Jada was still feeling some type of way.
Yes. like if he just up and left. If he just up and left,
She
like
was.
she's saying, like
She was.
why would he even be trying to talk about it in the public? Like if he just up and left you like that, that means he don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Right.
So why
It sounds like that didn't end on no good note.
August said he had a ton of issues and he was simply trying to clean out his
He had some
emotional
kind of music video, and
to keep stuff inside of telling your truth, and if others are involved, oh well. And I can respect him for that because a lot of people want to be truthful about certain things, but
you can clean out your emotional trunk without telling the whole world.
I mean, I still think it was clout. I don't care what people say. Some people are like, nah, Tanya, he ain't clout chasing. I still think it was clout chasing because if you say you slept with any celebrity, you know the media gonna be all over it. The tabloids, the blogs, us YouTubers, we gonna be all over that, and people gonna be coming to your channel, to your Twitter, your IG.
Well, I tell you what, he might as well have done it for clout because I couldn't pick August Alsina out of a police lineup. I wouldn't know him if I seen him outside in my yard.
Right. I wanted to say something. No, because I was breaking up on the last time and I had to come back in. But anyway, what brought it up was he did an interview with Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And I think she was asking him questions about it.
Now,
Okay.
wasn't
And
that like a
then,
year ago or so?
huh?
I think that was
this
recent.
he just did this
Okay,
like
yeah.
2 weeks ago.
But I'm saying, but the first time he mentioned it was
Yeah.
like
The first time he mentioned it, what happened was he had a song out.
Okay, I did
And
hear
in
something
the
like
video, he had Corinne as the name on.
Right.
He showed a video that he showed the phone and it had like text messages or something, and the name was Corinne, which is Jada's middle name.
that. Oh, honey, I went to
And
Corinne
that's-
Stephens. I had the wrong Corinne. I'm like, how she fit in it?
You got the
She bringing up Superhead.
Yeah, I didn't know her middle name was Corinne. I'm like, when Corinne Stephens got involved?
It's
That's how rumors get started.
It's something about these Koreans, y'all.
Mm.
But I mean, Deborah said that was his choice, and you know what? I know people gonna see it from two different ways. Like, why you blasting out Jada? You know, because a lot of people like Jada and look up to Jada and they respect Jada. But I don't give a doggone. If you didn't admit it that you are a swinger, that y'all have open relationships, what's so wrong with somebody saying they had a relationship with you? Because y'all obviously don't care that the public knows that y'all sleep with other people.
So, have you seen the actual interviews where they admit to the swinging and stuff?
That's been.
But
I've heard the rumors, but I've never seen them.
Yeah, I've heard the rumors. I've never seen an actual video.
Open relationships years ago, like years ago.
I never seen
they
that.
said it
years ago.
Yeah, I've heard it for a long time, but I never seen an interview or anything.
The industry is big, but the industry is small.
But see, my thing is this: going back to why? What does it matter if he says something? But why? Why do you have to put somebody on blast? Why do you have to air their dirty laundry? Who cares who you sleeping with?
You know, it's kind of like those. It's kind of like those people who write those books, and they the tell-all books, and they tell all. And some people just have to. I don't know. They feel like they have to let it out.
Go to therapy.
Their chest. They gotta say it with their chest and
go to therapy.
Honest and transparent. Be transparent with their fans.
But see, my thing about
I don't know.
My thing with this is okay. So you had this relationship with her, but you also have to remember that she still at the time she still had younger kids. So it's not just affecting her and Will. It also affects their kids, their family, the kid, they kids had to go to school and hear people talking about their parents. So
Mhm.
it's never just you and one other person. You have to think about the other people in the circle.
Right. Well, like
Well, that part they ain't have to worry about because they homeschooled them.
Deborah said what I had
Yeah.
said before, that Jada has said it out of her own mouth that they would never divorce. And if that meant he was on one end of the house with someone else, and she was on, see, that's what I was just saying earlier. They said, Jada said a long time ago that if we could not be together, we will still not get a divorce. I mentioned that earlier. Jada was going to be with whoever she wanted to. Will was going to be with whoever she wanted to. So
Now,
because
Deborah, to
you want
answer
your
your
life
question,
secret, just because you want your life secret does not mean the other person wants to keep a secret. And see, that's the thing. And another thing, Jada, you messing with somebody who's half your age. Now, we all know that people in their teens, in their 20s, even in their 30s,
they can't keep
they
their
like
mouth
to
shut.
talk. They like to talk, and they're going to spread gossip. And
Mhm.
they can't keep that stuff to themselves. Come on now. If I was sleeping
And I'm gonna tell you this: the only reason he came out saying something is because Jada got a bigger name, and that's gonna bring a bigger draw.
with,
Right? It's
that's
gonna
what
bring
I
it to
was
him.
saying. People been saying,
But I want to. But I want to address Deborah's question. She says if she don't care about her kids, then why should someone else? It goes back to what we were talking about in that last interview.
yep,
When we
and,
have to be a community and we have to care about other people. It's
yep.
not just us. We have to be a community
But you
that
know
cares
what?
about one another.
A lot of things that their kids do to this day is based on how they were raised. And
Right.
I'm not saying,
They was weird. They was raised weird.
but I'm not saying that Will and Jada was bad parents. I'm not saying that at all. But if you
They
raising,
were very untraditional.
they see you having an open relationship. They see mama being with somebody. They see daddy being with somebody. I mean, and I heard that Jada, I heard somebody, who was it on? It was Maddie in the morning. Some guy lived around the corner from Jada when they was growing up in LA or Inglewood or wherever the hell they was living. And he heard rumors all the time about Jada being gay or being bisexual. So if you raising children and allegedly you bisexual and you also have open relationships and things like that, and your children turn out gay, doing all kind of different things. I mean, we can't like fault the children on how they turn out. Like people talking about the kids are weird. Like
Well,
you
I,
can't fault the children.
I recently watched. I'm not a big round table fan, but red table fan, but for some reason the other night it wasn't nothing else on, and I went through and watched a bunch of her episodes. And one I was watching was the Father's Day episode where Will was going over his relationship with his kids and like his relationship with his own father. So it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was real interesting. I know exactly which one you talked about. And I am a
Yeah.
Red Table Talk fan. If some of y'all don't know, that's where the hood table came from.
Okay.
Because I'm a fan of
Hmm.
the Red Table Talk. So when I was trying to figure out what I want to call this show, I like the Red Table. And I'm like, okay, we're going to be talking about stuff from the hood to the White House. So the hood table, my friend Samantha, y'all know, well, some of y'all might know Sam. She used to do some shows with me. And she was like, what about the hood table? And I laughed at first. Then I was like, you know what?
Got a
I like
nice little
it's catchy.
ring to it.
I like the hood table. So that's where the hood table came from, because I liked the red table and I wanted something kind of like that. But with Jada and them, they're kind of like, I don't know if it's because it's on Facebook, and on Facebook you have to be really particular sometimes with what you post and what you stream.
Hmm.
So they don't take it all the way to a 10 like we do
Hmm.
on the hood table. So that's why I was like, that's the only difference. We might talk about things in our neighborhood, things in our family, but we take it up.
Well, I've never been a Jada or a Will fan, so that's why I hadn't really watched it before. But
I used
like
to love Will Smith.
I like it.
I don't like Will.
Wow.
She said, I don't like Will.
The house about sex.
You know what?
I like Will as an actor, but his rapping.
I was done with Will. I think I watched one episode too many of Fresh Prince. Because if I hear Uncle Fear one more time.
I love me some Fresh Prince.
Oh, God.
To this day, I still love me some Uncle Phil.
Can't
Rest
stand
in peace,
it.
James Avery.
I love me some Will Smith. I love that TV show.
Now I like Bad
I
Boys.
loved it, and I loved Uncle Phil, and I love the relationship that he and Will.
They got on my nerves, though.
But as he got older, their relationship changed.
I like how they had a relationship on the show, and it also went past the show. Like for one, now we ain't heard about no crazy stories so far.
No hanky panky stuff.
Fresh Prince, but there's a lot of sitcoms where we have heard about the older characters seducing and molesting the younger characters. We done heard about abuse. We done heard about prejudice. We done heard about all kinds of things on a lot of episodes we used to love.
I hadn't heard it.
We have yet to hear anything negative about the Fresh Prince. And I really
except for the first thing, Bill.
Right. Yeah, the first thing. Oh God. I remember doing
But she was the best thing, Bill.
I'm with you. I liked her too.
On my other YouTube channel, my original YouTube channel, Tanya's Primetime TV, I had did a video on her when she uploaded that video and she was going off because they ended up selecting a different lady and like 10, 20 years later, she's still angry. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like 20 years later and she's still mad. It's like,
she's still angry.
Get over it. Go get it.
I don't know. If somebody did something to slight me 20 years ago, I might still have a little bit of.
But the thing is, she ain't really did no kind of work. She ain't really did nothing with her career after they let her go. Like she's been.
I seen her on an episode of Jamie Foxx when she was going after Jamie Foxx that time on that episode. Other than that, I ain't seen her on nothing.
Yeah, I saw the episode of what's the show that comes on TV One where they go over the career and stuff.
Life After.
Where
it is like
one of those type deals, And they did her story, and she ain't really doing that. She doing like stuff where she do one man show on stage and she do readings and.
But see, she said she was blackballed. And see, the thing about it is, I won't give her too much shade because I understand that once you get blackballed in the industry, like Monique.
But aren't they saying her attitude was kind of like Monique's?
There's a lot of people who are black who said they were blackballed years ago. Like a lot of actors would be like, "What happened to them? Where they come from?" Because you have to understand, back then in the day, all the things that used to happen, the red couch, the red sofa. Okay, we know a lot of things used to happen back in the day. People getting high, snorting coke, heroin, all kind of stuff.
Child molesting rings and all of that.
Messing with the kids, the kid stars. A lot of stuff happened back in the day. And if you didn't follow along with their rules or what they wanted you to do, you could easily be blackballed.
It's all politics anyway.
It's all politics. Even in entertainment, it's all politics. All politics. Deborah said, "Baby, when the original Aunt Viv did the video going off was a wow. What ended up happening was that her son died, and there was a slight comment made by her son from Will that made her upset."
Oh, I didn't
Oh, his
realize
son
that.
died? I didn't know that.
And see, I kind of remember because that video is on my Tanya's Primetime TV media review YouTube channel. I'm gonna have to go and search for that video over there, and I'm gonna have to upload it over here on the hood table because I remember that video. I remember she was pissed off at Will. She was pissed.
She blamed Will for her son's attempted suicide.
No, it was something that she said that he said. It was more than that. It was more than that. I'm gonna find that video because I know I uploaded it on my Times Primetime TV YouTube channel. So I'm gonna have to upload that. Janet Herbert, that's her name. She blamed Will Smith for her son's attempted suicide. And I haven't seen the video in years. This happened like, oh my God, how many years ago?
I had to still be in high school. It's been a long time
ago when she did that video, and then she did a video like 2 or 3 years ago, and she was on, I think she was on Facebook Live or IG or something.
I kind of remember that.
I didn't see that.
She was going, I'm like, I'm there.
That time she went off because they had like I don't want to say a reunion, but it basically was what it was. No, James Avery died. And they all got together and took a picture. And she was pissed off.
Please send it to me because I think I have it, but please send it to me anyway.
But she was mad because she wasn't included. And it's like, ain't nobody talked to you in 20-some years. So,
yep.
And all you do, and all she does is bash them whenever. I mean, I haven't heard her say anything good about any of them.
And that's what the thing was. I'm like, you ain't been with that cast in years, and even though
you left on bad terms,
right?
Even if something might have happened that is unrepairable, what have you done with your life since then? You doing something because the house that she was in looked really nice. The house.
Would she still get royalties off the show?
Yeah, she's still getting royalties
from that and royalties because she did other movies, she did other shows, other sitcoms. She was here and there.
Yeah, she had done, like she did a lot of like plays and stuff.
Yeah, and I believe she
was a dancer too. Yeah.
Yes, and she is a dancer. She's a dancer, choreographer, something like that. Dancer. And so she was making coinage because the house that she was in when she recorded that last video that went viral. She was in a cute little house. And I was like, why is you still mad? I mean,
tell her to cry me a river, build a bridge, and get the fuck over it.
Like, move the hell on. Like
I don't know, y'all. It depends on what it was. It depends on what it was. I mean, I ain't gonna say that.
But 20 years later, I mean, come on, child.
But see, the thing is, you holding on to all that hurt and anger. You ain't hurt nobody but yourself because they sleeping good at night.
That's true, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She might have wanted to let it go, but every time she see Will ass, she might just get mad off. I
think every time she saw Will in all those big old movies, those big movies, she probably like that. They done kicked me off the show. I could have still been out there. The show could have still been going on. The little kids would have been like 30 now, and Will and them would have been like 50 now, and Uncle Phil would have been dead on the show. But
because I tell you what, I'm not a petty person at all. I don't usually hold grudges. I can only stay mad for about 2 weeks, and then I'm over it. But my ex-husband, I had to work very hard and pray. And I still can't say that when I see him, I might not have a hand to go upside his head.
You know what?
So that's why I'm saying you could try, but if you really hurt about something or angry about something,
I get it because I have some exes that I'm real cool with, like my youngest son, dad. Oh my God. I'll be like, I need to unfriend him because he always comment on all my doggone Facebook posts. He always trying to be funny and sarcastic on my Facebook posts. I'm like, oh my God, why did I accept him as a Facebook friend? But then my other son's father, I'm like, Don't talk to me. I don't want to be offensive. So I get it. But like Deborah said, what I do remember from the video I saw a couple of years ago was she did mention a lot about her livelihood and about how, like I said a few minutes ago, she said she was blackballed.
Yeah.
And see, when you're blackballed in the industry, and it's like when somebody who is really good at what they do, and they like an A-list celebrity, and they tell other people, just like Monique, don't mess with this person or that person or that person. Other like entertainers or other writers or producers or movies, they might listen to that. So
they will.
I feel like she was blackballed, but
at the same time,
like 20 years.
It was more than one. Okay, it's not even just. It's the years, but with Monique, like in Monique's case, it wasn't just one producer or one director. It was many.
I agree.
And it was also, you could see her attitude. That I am bigger than this. I'm bigger than you. That was part of.
She didn't have
that aura.
She's like, she's the shit, and like ain't nobody
right. And I mean, I can understand having that mentality, but when you are going about expressing it, and
it's kind of like Monique. With Monique,
that's what I'm saying, Monique.
And then Monique would have took this a totally different way, and people might talk crap about my little opinion, but I do, and I love me some Monique. I swear to God, I love me some Monique because she's a thick girl, and I'm a thick girl.
Exactly.
I love me some Monique, and she's funny. But we got to stand up. All the thick girls got to stand up for each other. But
right.
That girl power.
I think that there could have been a different way that she went about it.
Right. And I feel like even if they would have let her get a role, her attitude's not gonna change. She won't give on that at all. It's like, at least admit that maybe you could have worked
done
with
something a little differently.
She could have worked her way, and I know Monique don't want to hear this, and other people don't, but I think that if she would have probably settled. And I know people don't want to settle, but this is different from settling in a relationship and settling for a job. It's different because if somebody tells you, well, we're signing these other people on Netflix for all these $1 million deals or whatever because they've been doing all this in the recent years and you ain't done nothing since such and such. And
right. We got to make sure that you are still a box office draw. Right. You're going to still be able to fill them seats.
And you did that deal, and you showed everybody on Netflix, the whole entire world, oh, this bitch is funny. Oh, what?
Right, she still got it. Yeah.
Next thing you know, they had you on all kind of Netflix deals. I mean, we don't know, but that's just
I tell you what, her career went from sugar to shit, and it went quick.
Girl, sugar.
Now a lot of that had to do with her husband too.
I think so. I think that wasn't the best idea, having your husband be your whatever, because he biased.
Yeah. I think with a lot of black people, okay, I think that's the thing with the black people. White people don't do that shit. Black people, they
want to hook everybody up. They want everybody to have a job.
We cussing, by the way, for those who don't. This is Friday Night Live, so we cursing. Okay. But white people don't do that shit. White people, they get them a lawyer. They get managers who aren't related to their family. Black people, we got to get our uncle and them, our aunt and them, our cousin and them, our husband and them, and we got to make them our managers, our road managers, our regular managers, our assistant, our accountant, because we afraid of putting our money in the hands of other people.
Well, that too, and plus, you want to look out for your people, but at the same time, I learned a long time ago.
Looking out for your people don't mean trusting them with your money. You can
with your career.
Let's say I became famous today.
Mm-hmm.
I might have friends, close acquaintances. I'll be like, girl, let me hire you as my beautician because I know
Right.
you hell out of
Right.
head. Let me hire you as my nail tech. Let me hire you as my you do my clothes and all this kind of stuff. Let me hire you. You know what I'm saying? I might
Yeah.
get
Right.
jobs, but I'm not be like, oh, homegirl, I want you to be my manager. I want you to be
No.
my accountant. No, because you cannot always mix business with pleasure.
And I
Oh,
never
hell
mix
no.
business with family. Ever.
Or family. Because family, boy.
They will screw you over faster and before anybody else.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because
Deborah, to
my
address,
dad and his sister, my aunt, they opened a store together, consignment shop. And when he first told me he was finna do it, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
believe it. And I'm very blunt. I'm like, look, it's a bad idea, right? I don't believe in mixing business and family. He was like, well, it'll be okay. 3 years later,
Yep.
he want to be, he's ready to let it go. And, I'm like, see, I told you. I
Well, you
told
know
you.
what? What I think Monique should do, I think Monique should do a No Limit Soldiers, Master P. That's what I think she should do. I think she should
What?
get her own movie
Company.
company, her own studio
But
company.
does she got that kind of money?
I mean, hey, if Master P can do it by selling records out the back of his truck,
right?
I
But this is a
mean,
different day and age too,
right.
though.
And
I'm just saying.
yeah. But see,
If you
she
feel
still
like
gonna have to play nice with somebody at some point.
Right? Because she's gonna have to have a distributor.
blackballed, if you feel like you can't get into the industry anymore, like how long has it been since she went off on Netflix? It's been like how many years?
It's been a good
About
4 or 5.
3.
A good 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ain't seen her in shit.
Nothing but on people panel and talk shows being a perpetual victim.
And you know what?
Right.
She might have to do a Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was making plays and movies out of
And
his.
she messed up with him too.
He was making plays out of his little Pinto.
Yep.
He was doing plays in the church, in
Right.
the community
In the community centers. Yeah.
centers. He was doing plays. So sometimes
you got to learn how to let
complaining.
A little humility.
humility. You have to let go of your pride,
Right.
let
That's
go of
it.
that ego,
I don't think she willing.
and learn to work with people.
Yep.
We had to,
Yep.
but this is exactly why you don't see many of us as lawyers, accountants, etc., because these black celebrities get white people to work for them.
Oh no, I'm not saying don't get black people. No, see,
Right. I just said not relatives.
I'm not saying don't hire a black attorney or a black accountant. I'm saying don't hire family and friends.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Don't hire family and friends because it's a very thin line. And the last thing I want to do is be arguing with my sister, my brother, my cousin, where that money went, why that money ain't there. Explain to me how to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
And then the family takes sides.
Yeah,
And Deborah, you said, hold on.
exactly, Melissa. The family be all in it. Why are you accusing him of this? Why are you doing this? Why
Don't do him like that.
The whole family gets involved when you have one family member on your payroll.
Okay, but Deborah, to answer you, because you got a couple of comments there that I want to address. You said the way she went about it was her choice. Exactly. But how far did it get her?
And she got to deal with the consequences. It was her choice, but
Right. That was her choice. But now she's dealing with the consequences. And you said when you right, why bow down to those who did you wrong? Okay, she didn't bow down, but where is she now?
right.
My thing is again, if you felt like you were wronged, if you felt like they did you wrong, if you felt like the industry did you wrong, step out on your own. There are a lot of people who have done that. And they stepped out
say
on
this.
their own, and they created their own movie companies. They created their own record label companies. They created if you really feel like the industry has blackballed you, step out on your own.
But you know
I say
what?
this
I
like when
will
people
tell you.
Playing it for 4, 5, 10, 11, 15 years.
like when people talk about oh, that movie, okay, like for example, one time me and this guy got into an argument. We were talking about the 10 Commandments, the movie The 10 Commandments. Oh, they got all these people. Yeah. Oh, they got all these people and they ain't got no black people in there. I was like, there was black people. Oh, they was all slaves. Okay. And I said, but you got to think when the movie was made, it was made in the
It
what,
was
the
like
early 60s?
1970s or the 60s.
No, it was the
or-
early, it was like late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah, it was old.
So they was,
Because
it
when
was
that
still a
Charleston
lot of race.
Heston,
Yes.
Charleston Heston,
And so me and him going back and forth. And so then I finally said, well, you know what? If you don't like the movie that they play over and over, the classic, then you make one. You make a better one.
And it's not like to offend people, but some things we can't change. And some things we can change. It's like, okay, it's like if you don't like your job and they're not promoting you, you can complain year after year after year. You
Or
can
do
quit
something else.
the job, you can get fired from the job, and you can keep complaining year after year after year. But is that getting you anywhere? No. Sometimes
Right, baby. She's dealing with the consequences and she's living with it, but she keeps bringing the public
she's still
into it
complaining.
and
Dude,
keep complaining about the same thing and about the same people. Don't nobody want to hear that shit for 20
every
years.
time I get tired of a job, and I've been working since I was 14 for CETA, the summer job program in Omaha. When I get tired of a job or I think a job is doing me wrong or treating me,
I
being
leave.
biased or being prejudiced,
Deuces.
I just quit.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
not until I find another job.
Something else. You're right.
Right.
Make you, leave a certain spot. And it's because it's bigger things ahead of you. But if you keep, like, I could have been like, oh, sitting around the house, oh, they fired, they let me go, they fired, this happened, that happened, I'm going to sue them, just sitting around. Or I could go out and try to find me another gig.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Monique. Monique was like, okay, they don't want me on Netflix, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk shit about them on YouTube, on Facebook, whoop, 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 and she ain't went out and tried to do nothing else.
But you know what? I did feel bad for her in that situation. Do you remember when there was an issue with her growing up where her brother had molested her or whatever? And Oprah had the mom and the brother on the show and didn't even tell her that they were doing that. Now that was wrong.
I remember that, and that was totally wrong. Like, if you're going to interview my siblings or something like that, I would like a heads up so maybe I could like chime in or tune in for something like that.
Didn't they kind of try to get her on the phone or something? Or see, I was trying to think, was it like a surprise reunion?
People who she likes she likes to do exclusives. She likes to do interviews out of the blue with people who we don't expect. So that's Oprah.
Because I think her argument too was she had specifically told Oprah that she never wanted to be in the same room with them again or something like that. And she was like, that's why she was so hurt by it, because she knew she didn't want to deal with them.
Yeah. And people do things differently. Like when I quit my job, when I walked out of that job, I didn't have nothing else.
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing else. It was either find another job ASAP or apply for Section 8, apply for food stamps. You know how it goes. When you don't have a job and you got kids, you gotta apply for, you gotta seek the government.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have thousands of dollars saved up in the bank. Like most people don't have thousands of dollars just saved up in the bank. And so again, I cried on the way home, but after talking to my mother, I was like, man, forget this. I went and got online, started looking up, Career Link. What's that other one? Monster? Is it
Monster.com?
Man, I went on every job site, found me a job.
Indeed.
Indeed.com. I found me another job quick. And I was like, man, forget Werner Enterprises.
You know what? I have a similar story now. I didn't have any kids, but I was living in, well, I'm from Alabama, but I was at the time I was in Birmingham, and I've always been in the medical stuff. So I was working at one of the bigger hospitals in Birmingham, and an opportunity came up in Wilmington, North Carolina. So, I was a manager where I was at, but this was like a better opportunity. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. So I flew out there, interviewed. They hired me for the job. They moved me up there. Once I got there, I worked for them people for 30 days, exactly 30 days. And then they called me, they told me human resources need to see me. And I'm thinking, from all my years in management, ain't nothing ever good came out of human resources need to see you.
Right.
So I'm like, what they want to see me for? Honey, I go in there. They didn't even give me a good reason. They told me they didn't feel like it was a good fit.
Oh.
And I was like, what does that mean? So it was like, it's not that you did anything wrong. So I'm thinking, well, y'all got another position for me? And they were like, we've checked, we don't have anything else. I'm thinking to myself, y'all don't need nobody to do housekeeping or, I'm like, I have no family here. I came all the way here from Alabama, and y'all gonna fire me after 30 days. So, that was on a Friday, and they were like telling me I could, get a box and get my stuff. And I'm like, I don't even want it. I don't want to go back in there. So, I left. I did have a girlfriend that worked for the company. She was the one who told me about the job. So she couldn't believe that they had let me go. So I went home. I kid you not. I sat on her couch from Friday to Sunday and cried off and on for 3 days. Because I was like, what am I gonna do? And Wilmington is a small, like a college town, so it's not like there was a whole lot of opportunities, So then when Monday rolled around, I was like, well, I done cried for 3 days. I got to find a job, so I got up. Right. So this was like 2004, and back then you still went through the phone book. So I went through the phone book, found every temp agency in town, and made an appointment with all of them. By the end of the day, I was working for somebody, doing something.
That's why I be talking. Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. I be talking stuff about these folks today, these children of today, because it's been plenty of times where when in my younger days, if I didn't like a job, now after I had children, it was different.
Yeah.
I would keep a job till I found another one. But in my younger days, shoot, I would quit a job if you looked at me wrong. I would quit. They be looking for me the next day. They be like, "Where's Tanya?" I would quit, and I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I find me another job when I find me another job," But after I had children, I was like, "Oh no, you can't just be quitting jobs because somebody talked you wrong, or because somebody looked at you wrong, or because you don't like the way the last phone call went." In customer service, you have to, toughen it up because you got kids that leaning on you and depending on you.
Yeah.
So after I had children, I made smarter decisions. To this day, if I don't like my job, I will search for another job. Then I will 2 weeks notice, and that's what I try to teach my sons. Give a 2 weeks notice, because this is going to mean a lot as you get older and older and older, and these employers look at your history and realize, did he give notice? Did they quit? Did they, it means a lot to employers in the future. So,
I never did get better at that. I still change jobs every 3 years.
Chad, I've been at the job I've been at. Well, I got like 4, 5 jobs. Okay. Ever since I've been like, let me see, 19, 18, probably 18. Ever since I've been like 18, I always had more than one job. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had children, it was just natural. I always had a job. I made sure I had a job that would secure the bills, and I made sure I had a job that would secure anything else I wanted. or anything else me and my children needed. Sometimes it was 2 jobs, sometimes it was 3 jobs, sometimes it was 4 jobs. Right now, I got a full-time, I got a part-time, I got YouTube, I bake cakes on the side. I mean, I do all kind of stuff. So I always tell people, especially these younger children, you need to have more than one income.
Yeah.
To survive. So
Right.
I always had that. Back in the day, though, it was just, I get a job. If I don't like it, I quit.
Well,
And I didn't do what I do, you know, to survive until I can get another job. But once you've grown and mature and got bills and rent or mortgage, car payments and bank accounts and all that life insurance, you can't just quit a job and just be like, I don't like it here, I'm leaving, without something else.
that's true. But you know, I always fall back on this. When I first started working, my first job in high school was Taco Bell. I still know how to sling them tacos and make them burritos.
Mine
So
was
push come to shove.
Mine was Burger King and McDonald's.
If push come to shove, baby, I go sling some tacos. I am not too proud.
Let me tell you, I done told this story before when I was on this channel. I done told this story before. I used to be in real estate for many years. But before then, when high school, I used to work at fast food restaurants. Then after that, I did every telemarketing in the Midwest. Then after that, I got into real estate. When the real estate market crashed in like 2007.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was losing their houses. People was walking away from their homes, foreclosures. I mean, short sales. You know, it was bad. It was bad.
I remember.
In 2007. From 2007 to like 2009. It was like really bad. And after that, I was like, okay, I gotta make sure I got more than one job because these real estate jobs, they ain't successful. We get fired, we get laid off. Real estate companies, our whole real estate company it went from like 50 employees to 3 employees.
What?
That was like the owner, the co-owner, and the secretary. I mean, that's how bad it got here in Omaha, Nebraska. It got bad. And so after then, I was like, man, I need to have me more than one income. So ever since then, I've been like a job or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
My kids is grown and I still got a job or 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, now, you know, I do things a little differently now because, you know, I told you about the other opportunity that I do. And it made me not have to necessarily have 2 jobs. But if I need to, I know what to do.
Well, what I want you to do, Melissa, I want you to and I always do this on a regular basis. Most people know me for this. I always try to promote other people's channels. So what I want you to do is put your link, if you can, put your link to your channel in the chat.
Okay.
And if I don't know if there's any other YouTubers still in the chat, but if there's other YouTubers still in the chat, this is the time to put your link in the chat so other people can check out your channel. I try to do that. Sometimes I forget, but most of the times I do. Because I know personally, I got 3 YouTube channels, and I know personally how hard it is to grow your YouTube channel sometime and how to reach the attention of other people. So I try to promote as much as possible other YouTubers. So go ahead and put your link in the chat. And if there's anybody else who wants to put their link in the chat who is a YouTuber, feel free. Melissa, please let people know what your platform is about.
Well, my platform is about finance. I represent a company called My Econ that teaches you how to, just what we were just talking about, make sure you have multiple streams of income, teach you about investing, teach you about tax savings, all that type of stuff. So we do a show every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, where we invite a different business person on or a different expert or whatever. And Tanya, you may want to come on since, you know, you do the cakes and stuff.
Invite me on. You had Deanna on there the other day, and I'm like,
yeah. Because we're always trying to figure out, you know, who we can, who who we can get to come on.
I would be honored to come on your show.
Well, I will add you to the list, honey, because we try to promote.
A lot of people like to come on my show, but I be like, when y'all gonna do some shows? When people gonna let me on their platform?
Girl, you can come next week.
All you gotta do is hit me up and let me know the day and time, and I will be there. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, because what it is, we try to teach people to do home-based businesses, and your business is definitely a home-based business, and you can kind of tell people how you got started, and that type of stuff. So, Deanna came on Thursday, and the reason I invited her on is because she had good information about buying land on tax sales and stuff.
Yeah, that's my boo. I love me some Deanna.
Yeah, so I invited her on to kind of give us some details on how her and her husband got into that and what's involved and all of that type of stuff. So it was a good show.
They doing their thing down there. Every time she posts a video about her land or her getting property and rental part, I'll be right on there like, congratulations.
Yeah, and see, I love to see our people do well.
Thank you. I love it. Our people, our sisters and brothers, building their income, property. Right. I mean, how could you hate on somebody?
And see, that's part of the reason why Tony and I are so passionate about what we do with this, because, we've gotten ourselves to a point where we're good, but we see how it could help so many other people. Yeah. And it's like, always the people that you think are going to be gung-ho for it, them be the ones be like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? You can't reach everybody. And it's like sometimes I have a lot of people who I think would be fabulous YouTubers.
Right. And because of personality or whatever.
Their personality, the product that they have to offer, or their talents. And some of them be like, okay, show me how, and I'll help to create their channel and everything, and they do great. But then you have some people like, I don't think. But see, it's something about when you're in a certain position or job or something like that, and you just see other people like, yeah, this will work.
Yeah, this your thing.
But you can't make them. You can't force them. You can't force them. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You can't force them. So it's like, hey, you can lead a horse to water,
but you can't make them drink.
You can't make them drink. Yeah, so make sure you put your link in the chat so people can check out your channel, and just hit me up. You can hit me up. I don't know if you're in our Facebook group, the Hood Table.
I don't know. I don't think I'm in a group. I think I went and liked your page on Facebook.
But that's fine. Just inbox me or hit me up on IG, the Hood Table at IG. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, the Hood Table everywhere. So just hit me up anywhere and let me know what date and time you want to do, and I'll be happy to come on.
Yeah, because we haven't had anyone that's done anything as far as like food service or anything.
Yes, child. I'm a professional cake decorator.
I know. I wish I lived in Omaha.
Well known. If y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. Tanya's Delight, Slice on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. I do cake videos and everything. So Tanya's Delight, Slice. Yes. I gotta do my own little plug.
That's right. Look, and what my mama say, we from Alabama. It's a poor dog that don't wag his own tail.
Yep, and like Deborah said, several streams of income is necessary. Trust me. When you grow up in the hood and you grow up dirt poor to where all your clothes come from a consignment place, a thrift store, a Goodwill, and everything you eat is on commodity, cheese, butter, bread. I mean, come on now. When I grew up, I said I will not be, and bless my mother and father because they did the best that they could. So, but I promised myself when I became a grown-up, I will not be standing in line for everything that I need. Now, there are certain points in life where you have to reach out and get a handout. And I've been there. I stayed in the bricks. I would been on Section 8. I done had welfare, food stamps, what do you call that other stuff? WIC. When I was a younger parent and had kids and everything. But after that, a few years of that, I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes so that my kids can have whatever they need when they need it.
Right.
When they not next month. Oh, you get shoes this month and you get shoes that month. You get, I made sure. And some people, you have to work 2 or 3 jobs. You have to have multiple income resources, and that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool, because one thing I hated when I even to this day, one thing I hate is for people to say, "Why do you got more than one jobs?" I wish I would work in more than one job. Have you ever heard somebody say that to you? Why do you got more than one job?
Girl, I couldn't do it.
Hey, all I'm gonna do, I wish somebody would have me working at another job with you, woo. But them the people who be having the shut off notices and who be coming to you to ask to borrow money. I mean,
my girlfriends are like that, and they don't do it in a negative way, but they'll be like, "Girl, I couldn't do it." I'm like, yeah, if you had to, you could.
I got plenty of friends and family who used to talk stuff about me having multiple incomes, but then they'd be the first one in my face talking about, "Can I borrow some money?" And I'm like, let me drink on this.
Yeah. That's like my cousin and her husband now. I was single. She's married, got a husband and 2 kids, and she still calls me. And I love my cousin. I'm not complaining. But I'm looking at, okay, single parent, just one income in the house, married, 2 incomes, plus one of your kids got a job.
I hate, you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. I done had people in my family circle, friends, whatever, and it be them and they man, maybe married, maybe not married, but it be them and they man. It's like 2 adults in the household who can work. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody on SSI. Y'all both can work, but you constantly asking to borrow money from other people. But you got a whole man in your house, and you asking to borrow money from people who are single parents.
Right.
And you want to turn around and say, "I wish I would work more than one job."
And see, what got me with my cousin is when the table would turn and maybe I need to borrow $20. You know what she would say? "Well, I have to talk to my husband first." What?
Child, I remember growing up, well, not growing up, but as a young adult, the person who asked to borrow money all the time was me. Because I had a job paying like $7, $8 an hour. I had a child. Father wasn't doing that, wasn't paying child support. If it wasn't for my mom, it was for my cousin, for my friend. I was borrowing money. It got to a point where I was just like, okay, I need to do something so I'm not asking people for money. And yeah, I would pay back. Like the next payday, I was always that person who was like, "Oh, I'm going to pay you back next payday." I wasn't that person that you had to hawk down or stalk down. I was always, I got people to testify to that. But it got to a point where I was like, I don't like asking people for stuff. I just don't like it. So I started working, multiple jobs. And ever since then, I ain't have to ask nobody for nothing. But some people look at people with multiple jobs as, that's a horrible thing. Like, working 2 jobs, I wish I would. But then they turn around and be the one begging. And
then my thing is, I'm like, let me work multiple jobs while I'm young, because when I get older, I don't want to have to do that.
Exactly.
While I got the time and the energy, let me go and do it.
Thank you, Carla. But yeah, tonight's show was lit. It was fun. It was live. It was entertaining. It was knowledgeable. I thank everybody for tuning in tonight and joining us tonight on the Hood Table Friday Night Live. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share the video. And don't forget, Melissa, send me a message.
I will.
Twitter, Facebook, somehow let me know when you want me to come on your show, okay?
Okay, more likely to be Thursday.
All right, that's cool. Okay. on my calendar. And everybody, make sure you please like, share, and subscribe to the Hood Table. And if you want to join the Hood Table squad, all you got to do is hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And on that note, everybody, we are out.
Good night.
Deuces.